The time is now 6:30 p.m. Calling this city council meeting to order. Present tonight, we have Councilmember Matos, Councilmember Cornelison, Councilmember Moncrief, Councilmember Hodges, and Councilmember Shannon. A quorum is present. Pastor Bale, are you here tonight? Awesome. First thing up will be the invocation. There'll be Pastor Bale from Movement City Church, and after that will be the pledge. So if you could please rise.
Awesome. If you'll bow your heads with me. Dear God, thank you for the gift of this day and the city we're honored to serve. We celebrate its beauty, its energy, and the people who call it home. Bless everyone in our city today and cover every citizen with peace. Let your favor rest on our mayor, our council, and our city like never before. As we step into the decisions ahead, we ask for your wisdom. Help us to see clearly, to lead fairly, and to act with both courage and humility. God, we ask that you would bring unity where there's differences, compassion where there's need. May this room be filled with purpose and collaboration, and may tonight's agenda and conversations reflect respect, justice, and care for all. We speak blessing over our neighborhoods, our families, our schools, and our businesses. Protect our first responders, strengthen our educators, and bless every hand that builds up this community. We pray for a generous spirit to move through this city, generosity in resources, in time, and in kindness. Help us to continue building a city where everyone can belong, everyone can grow, and everyone can thrive. May it be so and according to your will and purposes. In Jesus' name, amen.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First item tonight is mayor and council reports, presentations, and proclamations. I'll be presenting the certificates of election, and they will receive their official statement of elected officer, and city secretary will issue the oath of office to the new council members. We'll do one at a time. We'll start with place one. We're going to step up here.
Yes, sir.
That way your family gets the best pictures.
Turn your mic on.
Oh, hold on one second.
All right, repeat after me. I, Michael Matos,
I, Michael Matos,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear.
that I have not directly or indirectly paid.
Your practice.
A practice, you know. Repeat after me. I, Michael Matos,
I, Michael Matos,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office
I will faithfully execute the duties of the office
of City Council Member for the City of Godley
of Cat City Council Member of Godley, Place 1
of the State of Texas,
of the State of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws of the United States
the Constitution and the laws of the United States
of this and of this state,
and of this state,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
You're next.
what?
Oh, your picture, do you smile?
I don't usually.
You don't usually? It's okay, Robert. With me, it's fine. I'm gonna take your oath. If you'll raise your right hand. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas,
In the name and in the authority of the state of Texas,
I, Roger Corneliuson,
I, Roger Cornelison,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully
ex-
execute the duties
of the office of
of the office of
City Council Member for the
City-
City of Godley,
City Council Member for the City of Godley,
Place 2
Place 2
of the United States of Texas,
of the United States of Texas,
and will do the best of my ability
and will do the best of my ability
to preserve, protect, and defend
to preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state.
so help me God.
So help me God.
All right.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Councilmember Moncrief? That's yours.
Thank you.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, I, Courtney,
Wait, I gotta repeat. Say it's,
do hereby,
no, hold on. Say,
Okay.
say this first line and let me repeat it. I
okay,
can't remember that much at once.
okay, I, Courtney Moncrief.
Started. In the
Okay.
name,
All right, we start with, in the name and by the authority of the state of Texas,
in the name and by the authority of the state of Texas,
I, Courtney Moncrief,
I, Courtney Moncrief,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully
that I will faithfully
execute
ex-
the duties of the office
execute the duties of the office
of City Council Member for the City of Godley,
of City Council Member for the City of Godley,
the State of Texas,
the state of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state,
so help me God.
so help me God.
This is my granddaughter.
Councilmember Shannon, Councilmember Place 5. You gotta get there, you go.
Hello, Mr. Shannon.
Hello.
Okay, you will repeat after me, and you'll raise your right hand. In the name and by the authority
In the name and by the authority
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
I, Alan Shannon,
I, Alan Shannon,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office of
the duties of the office of
City Council Member for the City of Godley,
City Council Member for the City of Godley,
Place 5
Place 5
of the state of Texas, sorry,
of the state of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations. And then if we read the anti-bribery statement, and then I'll come get it. Okay. Oh, take my pen.
Yes.
Before we move on, I do want to thank the new council members and even the ones that ran, that the giving up the time and making the commitment is, people just don't realize it till they actually do. So I want to thank them all for taking this giant leap and joining the council here. My personal advice there is, they might not vote for you again, but they can't kill us, so we'll get through this together.
That's it.
First item is consent agenda. We don't have public speaking on the agenda, but we have a sign up. If we can back up here a little bit, we're going to do public speaking first. It's all good. First public speaker is listed as Mr. Carmy. Sir, if you can either speak now or you can wait till your agenda item, it's your choice. Mr. Mitroff? Mitroff? Yes, sir. Same thing? All right. Third person is Brittany Clint. If you'll come up here to the microphone. If you hit that button, you'll have 5 minutes, and I'll let you know when 1 minute is left, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Hello, my name is Brittany Clint, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you today. I'm here to bring urgent animal control issues to the city's attention. I understand my time is limited, so I will focus on one critical concern today, with plans to return to future meetings to address the others. The most pressing issue is the ongoing problem of animal dumping in our community. Since moving to Godley a few years ago, I've been shocked by the frequency of animals, both dead and alive, being dumped in and around our neighborhoods. I have personally witnessed multiple cases, particularly along the road leading to my home. It's clear that those committing these acts believe Godley is a place safe to do so, likely due to a lack of enforcement and public awareness. This needs to change. The City of Godley must take a firm and public stance by declaring a zero-tolerance policy for animal dumping. These acts are not only heartbreaking, they're criminal. Offenders must know that they will be caught and prosecuted. This issue goes beyond cruelty. It is now a public safety threat. In Wildcat Ridge and Star Ranch, a pack of approximately 15 feral dogs, originally dumped, has become a serious danger. These animals have attacked pets and now pose a risk to the children in the area. It is unacceptable that this situation has gone unaddressed for so long. Some may say they were unaware, but with at least 37 posts about abandoned animals on the town's Facebook page just this year, awareness is not the issue, action is. Now that this matter has been formally brought to your attention, I urge the city to treat it with the urgency it deserves. This is an emergency. At the next meeting, I plan to address the absence of animal control facility and the burden it places on citizens trying to fill in the gap. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving on to the next agenda item is the consent agenda. Item A is discuss take possible action on approval of the Godley City Council minutes from the special called meeting held on May 13th, 2025, and the department reports from the city administrator, fire department, police department, and public works. I think police is after fire. If there is any questions, council, I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
I second.
Have a motion by Councilmember Hodges and a second by Councilmember Matos to approve the consent agenda as written. Further discussion? Councilmember Matos?
Aye.
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 Motion passes 5-0. On to new business. Discuss and take possible action on appointing a mayor pro tem. At this point in time, I would like to make a motion to nominate Councilmember Cornelison to be the mayor pro tem.
I would accept that.
Is that a second?
Oh, yes. I don't know if I had, okay.
Have a motion by Mayor Lanker and a second by Councilmember Cornelison to nominate Councilmember Cornelison as the mayor pro tem. Is there further discussion? Councilmember Matos?
Yay.
Yes,
Aye. Sorry, excuse me. Aye.
I understand. I know.
Yes. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion passes 5-0. Item B, discuss and consider adoption of resolution number R-05-2025-34, affirming the nominations for the candidates for the Board of Director for the Central Appraisal District of Johnson County, Texas, for the 2025-2026 term. So we've had a few resignations on our CAD. This is the opportunity where the taxing authority will nominate personnel they want the CAD to consider for placement on the board. We have 2 resumes that were sent out. We're just going to go, they both signed up to speak, they are both present. We're just going to go in the order that they're in the book. Mr. Mitroff or Mitroff? Mitroff. Mr. Mitroff. If you'd like to introduce yourself, and you can.
Yeah, my name is David Mitroff. I live at 613 Joy Court in Burleson, Texas. Been a Texas resident for almost 4 years now. Been in the commercial real estate development business for a little better than 40 years, which kind of dates me a little bit, but I've always served in the community that I've lived, and have had the chance to serve in different places around the country, let alone here in Texas. So this was someone that was connected to the board, approached me at an event in Dallas not too long ago and asked if I would consider it, and considering that I was coming to the end of a contract that I've been working with in Dallas and wanting to be more involved with my community, I said I would.
Council, do you have any questions for Mr. Mitroff?
Should.
Don't go far. We might do this a little unorthodox.
No, I understand. No, I mean, if you want, I could talk a little bit about some of the things that I've worked on and just kind of my view of frankly, we work, this position would work for the taxpayers, while at the same time, because of independent verification, understanding that the government agencies and the way we work together have to happen. And I, having been in the real estate development end with residential and number of lots, and then looking at the tax bases, I think the biggest thing that, at least from my point of view, even as a homeowner, that I care about is that objective, independent verification of what fair value really is. And then how that plays into the tax rate and how that's, how that's looked at. And then when there are objections, which there certainly will be, is there, the attorney, the appraisal review board, how is that handled? Are people being taken seriously when they say, hey, look, I'm next to a guy who's got 4,000 feet and has a pool and a 5-car garage and I'm in 32. Those are the kinds of questions, while seemingly easy to answer, there's sometimes deeper dives that need to go into those kind of things. So my hope would be to be able to be a voice of objectivity and independent verification for doing things in a way that I would want for myself.
With all the taxing entities doing the same thing we're doing, within a couple-week period, have you received any nominations from any other taxing entities to date that you're aware of?
Yes, one, but because I haven't had a chance to really have him look me in the eye and say, hey, I want you to come in.
Let me rephrase my question. Has any other cities, Keene, Alvarado, or any school districts within the city, Burleson, has anybody already nominated you to the CAD as a recommendation?
No.
Okay. Any other questions at this time, council? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Carmy.
Council, Mayor, my name's David Carmy. I live in Johnson County, close to Burleson, 8317 County Road 523. We've lived in Johnson County since '97 and operated a family business. We employ close to 40 employees. I think I have a keen business sense. Things have to add up. And I've looked for ways to serve my community, and this opportunity came available. Any questions? Or
I'll ask you the same question. Have you received any nominations from any other taxing entities?
Burleson last night, and I expect Alvarado.
Did Greg Hunley ask you to run?
No. I met him at the last CAD board meeting, but it's the first time I met him.
Was it, so I get that as a reference? I thought, okay.
He knows my family well. My family's done a lot of business with him.
Question.
Turn your mic on, please.
You mentioned a little bit more about the business background. You said you had a construction company. Tell me more about
Ready Mix Concrete.
What was that?
Ready Mix Concrete.
Yes, sir. Tell me more about kind of the business experience that you may bring here to the board, or to the board here if elected.
Well, I mean, we operate a Ready Mix Concrete company, and we've seen the growth and that goes with it, and the challenges of, the municipalities with tax dollars. We've seen our, the last 4 years, our property rates just skyrocket. How can that work together? How can we grow together? As tax-paying citizens, it's alarming how fast our taxable values are increasing. How does a business, things have to add up. I mean, I hear stop property tax, no property tax. Well, that's great in principle, but where's the money gonna come from? You can't stop, until you have something else in place. And I don't think that is our decision, comes from Austin, so.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Thank you, sir. So on this, council, we can recommend 0, 1, or 2. The way it'll go is we will sign a resolution that will be presented to the CAD. The CAD will then take the nominees and make the final decision for the 1 seat. It does not matter how many recommendations you get, whether every city, Mr. Carmi already has a recommendation, his name will be on the board, on the CAD's board's decision docket right now. Personally, I would recommend or encourage that we recommend both, or Mr. Mitroff, just to give the CAD a choice of people instead of just having one name end up on the final line.
How many people are y'all the only 2 candidates at this time?
I've been to the CAD meetings, I have gone out asking, these are the only 2 people that have expressed interest in being nominated.
We need to make a motion or something at this time?
Make a motion with the names that you would.
I'll make a motion, we give 3 votes to David Cormie.
There's no votes.
Oh.
This is purely a nomination to the CAD to consider. They're gonna appoint to fill an empty spot.
Well, okay, all right, then how do we do it, 1 per person, or how do we do it?
I will need a motion from a council member that will either name 1 person or both people, and a second. This is just a regular motion.
Make a motion, we accept both people.
I second it.
Have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Cornelison and a second by Councilmember Shannon to nominate both Mr. Carmi and Mr. Mitroff to have their names placed on Resolution R-05-2025-34. Is there further discussion? Councilmember Matos.
Aye.
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 Motion passes 5-0. Thank you, gentlemen. Item C. Discuss and consider taking action to approve and add project WW-2025-04 wastewater treatment plant expansion as part of the capital improvement plan for the city of Godley, and consider a recommendation from the CIP committee for approval of project WW-2025-04 as part of capital improvement plan for the city of Godley, Texas. Mr. Armstrong. You were named the.
Yeah.
What do you want? What do you want?
Is it on?
Which one, defendant?
Defendant.
Yes.
Yes, please. Thought we had it all rocking, sorry about that. It kinda went to sleep on us.
Can we dim the lights?
I don't know which one it is, it'll be one on the outside. Lights. That's okay. We can move on without it. It's okay. It's just gonna give you an overview and I can describe where it's gonna be. All right, so this first project I'm gonna be presenting, first, welcome new council members, and council members that have been here before. So this project, let me back up a little bit. We went in front of the CIP committee last month with a list of projects. This was not on that list, and as well as the next project that I'll be presenting on. And I'm going to talk to you guys about that and look for you guys to approve putting this on our CIP list as a future project that we can do. That's what this is about right now. And then we'll, if all goes well, we'll have maybe a workshop in the near future to kind of go over more details on that. So this first project is a sewer line. There we go. Thank you, Brittany. If you guys see the red line, I'm gonna step over here, cause I can't sit still. So that's gonna be right around, Glazed and Confused on the highway there. Is everybody kind of with me so far? All right, so what this is gonna do around Johnson County Automotive, right across the highway, this project will be a gravity sewer line that will come down the highway, go kind of by O'Reilly's, right in that area. There's a, just kind of give you a reference. It's not nailed down yet exactly where that's going to go. Come over and it's going to tie into a trunk line that we're looking to put in. That was another project. It's going to start at the high school and go all the way to the wastewater plant. And this is all to take on the growth of the northwest side of Godley. This particular line. Right now, everything flows right down 171 and into an 8-inch line into the plant. This line will take all that flow coming from that side. So if you go up 2331 or Pearson, go past the schools, go all the way out to Timber Creek. Well, not that far. We don't have sewer out there, but like you're going that direction north. On the right is Rosemary Fields. So it'll take care of Rosemary Fields and then everything across Star Ranch, all the way back around. If you can kind of make a wide swoop to the high school and then coming back down. This is going to take care of everything on the northeast side. We'll call it the north side of 171, all the way back around to Rosemary Fields. This is going to take all that wastewater and flow it to the main trunk line that we're looking to put in. As it goes from the high school, this will tie into it there. Much needed project, long overdue. Lots of flow, lots of houses out there. Just think of Star Ranch, think of Rosemary Fields when it's built out, all those places there. Wildcat Ridge, all of Wildcat Ridge, the complete build out of it. All that flow right now is going through that small line, and we need to open that up and bring it down. It's just long overdue. We've just, I don't think failed is the right word, but we've just not done this project, and this is needing to be done, along with several other projects. So that's why I'm presenting it to you tonight, to get it on the CIP list so we can look at funding and things in the future on this project. Any questions on this one? And I talk fast, so please ask questions. I look at it every day, so.
The current line coming from Rosemary Fields and Wildcat Ridge towards the plant, where does that run right now?
Say that one more
The
time.
sewer line from Rosemary Fields and
Okay.
from Wildcat Ridge.
Okay, perfect.
Where does that line, where's their main line run right now?
Okay, so right now, Rosemary Fields is going over to Star Ranch and flowing through Star Ranch, through the gravity lines and kind of gets there. And then from Star Ranch, it comes in two different ways. So if you've ever been down to the old ag building on Links, all the way down at the end, does everybody know where the youth baseball fields are? Just past that, Star Ranch, it comes across that road and goes cross country straight over to Johnson County Automotive. So if you go to Johnson County Automotive and you go behind it, there's a clearing in the trees there. That's where that sewer line goes. The other part, Wildcat Ridge, is going to come back around and go behind that. It's now a lumber yard out here on Railroad. In the very, very back, behind that fence on the school property there, there's a line that comes across, and that's taking part of the back part of Star Ranch, and all of Wildcat Ridge is coming down. It ties into the line at the youth baseball fields and comes down to Johnson County Automotive, and then flows across the highway and then down to the plant all the way to Del Norte and then turns. Like right now. So what we want to do is we want to intersect that. So we already have a 12-inch line to a certain point there, kind of around O'Reilly's, just a little bit kind of to the northwest of that towards Crescent. We're going to tie into there, bring it down, and bring it over. And that one is going to be an 18-inch main. There's some, yeah, that's going to be an 18-inch main to carry that.
So it would be tying in by Johnson County Automotive?
No, ma'am, across the highway. Go across the railroad tracks and in front of Glazed and Confused is where it's going to start. How we get through there, that's going to be a little bit, talking to some owners and things and finding the best path. But right now it looks like we already have a line that goes by O'Reilly's, behind O'Reilly's to some houses. Probably the best path, and that's probably where we're going to look to go.
That was an 8-inch line?
18-inch. Yes, sir. Now, the existing line is an 8-inch.
Wait.
Yes, sir.
So there's the quote here is for $1.4 million. Is this the only quote, or have we gone and done multiple bids for somewhere else?
So this is a probable cost. We've not gone out to bid yet.
Okay.
We've got to get it on the list.
Yes, sir.
And it has to, so it went to the CIP committee first because, back in '22, the council, I don't know the exact words, and Angie might be able to help me more, but the city decided to do impact fees, and to spend those dollars on these projects, it has to go in front of the CIP committee. They approved it last week, and now it's in front of you guys to be approved to be on that actual CIP list for us.
Are we gonna actually buy property, or are we just buying easements?
There's money for easements in here, and that's typical. Any main line that goes in, it's typical to do an easement versus buy the property. I mean, it's not, I've seen cases in the past at other places where you buy property, but 9 times out of 10, you're looking for an easement. And we already have some easements through there with that one line that's already there, so should be pretty short. And again, this line is I'm not coming to you as I want. This is a necessity for the city. If we don't do this, we're gonna, that's a lot of flow in a small line, and we're to that point where we gotta have this. That's just the facts.
So this vote today would just put it on the list to
That's
start workshops and planning for it?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, this vote today will get it on the list with the other projects that we already have. We already have, coming down from the high school, that's a project. There's several other projects, and we've already actually started some of those projects, but yeah, this will get us on that list.
If I may, this is not gonna be putting it on a workshop for future. This is gonna be the approval for them to start looking at getting the bids and being able to start requesting the certificate of obligation to cover this work.
So these numbers might change.
Absolutely.
through that.
Yeah, once it goes to bid, these will hopefully go down a little bit, but there's a lot of unknowns right now with tariffs and other things, so our engineer actually, they tend to be on the cautious side. No engineer wants to be the low bid, so, yeah, this price here is just conceptual, going off of other prices from other projects that they see.
At this time, if I may entertain a motion from one of my council members, please.
I'll make that motion to approve and add project WW 2025-04 to the capital improvements plan.
I'll second.
Have a motion by Councilmember Hodges and a second by Mayor Pro Tem Cornelison to approve item C as written. Is there further discussion? Councilmember Matos.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you, council.
Give me 1 second, please. Just for clarification, there was an error on my paperwork. That project number, WW-2025-04, is actually the sewer trunk main lateral, not the wastewater treatment plant expansion. So, do I need to, clarifying that, do I need to revote it, or with the correct description?
It's right on the agenda, it's just not right on your cheat sheet.
I read it wrong. Do I need to read it correctly for a new vote, or was the vote good?
Okay.
We announced the project,
He announced the project he just did.
I read the resolution number, but read the wrong title to that resolution.
If you want to be safe, you can just have a new motion for clarity.
Okay. Council, for clarification, if I can get a motion to approve the project again with the correct name being the sanitary sewer trunk main lateral to 171, I would appreciate it.
I'll make that motion.
I will second that motion.
Have a motion by Councilmember Hodges and a second by Mayor Pro Tem Cornelison to correct the title to wastewater treatment, or the project WW-2025-04, sanitary sewer trunk main lateral to SH 171. Further discussion. It was all the right information, just the wrong title.
Yes, sir.
Councilmember Matos.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you again, council.
On to item D. Discuss and consider taking action to approve and add project WW-2025-05 wastewater treatment plant expansion as part of the capital improvement plan for the city of Godley, and consider a recommendation by the CIP committee for approval of project WW-2025-05 as part of the capital improvement plan for the city of Godley, Texas. Mr. Armstrong.
All right, you guys picked a good one to start on. Wastewater treatment plant expansion. Another one of our projects that is a have to, it's not a want to. This project is gonna be a 1 million gallon expansion to our current treatment plant. Right now, we're able to treat, we're able to treat 460,000 gallons, but we're only permitted for 360, so we're kind of limited to what we can do. This will put us to our full 1.36 million when we do this. One of the plants, the trains will come out, and then this big 1 million gallon will go in, and two of the others will stay in place and all kind of run together in this project. So there's a lot that goes into this, and I know this is a big price, but I will say that there's contingency on top of contingency in this project, right? Because it's going to be made of steel with the tariffs. I know everybody kind of gets tired of hearing that, but it's just the reality, right? It may be just fine when we start a project like this, but we don't know that. So our engineers, and we actually have 2 engineering firms that have looked at this to make sure that we get a good cost in front of you guys. This project, this is going to be an eye-opener for everybody, but this project will get us caught up, and that's it. This is not going to be much extra. This will get us caught up to our current commitments as a city right now. That's where we're at. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that we didn't do some more projects leading up to this, but that's what we've got. And this is the situation that we have to take care of. And so this project, there's a lot of assumptions in this project. There's some money in there for some land acquisition in case we need to purchase some more land right there next to the plant. That's kind of the plan. There's some boundaries, but we can get some variances for the boundaries. There's a 100-foot boundary that TCQ will enforce, but there's variances and things. So, but we do need a second entryway to the plant. It's always needed that. I don't know how we've gotten to where we are with one entryway, but we need to right that wrong during this project. And so that's just one of many things with this project. So we're putting these big lines in. We need to put these big lines in because you guys look around and you see the rooftops, and there's plenty of lots that don't have houses yet that we're committed to serving. All that's got to go somewhere, and we've got to treat that wastewater. And that's what this project will do. It will be able to serve the community that we currently, in agreements, are responsible for treating, serving. And just black and white, that's where we're at. This project, again, will get us caught up. Some much needed upgrades too to go along with that. This will involve SCADA, but this puts us into another ball game. So this cost doesn't include more personnel, because once you go to this big of a plant, you got to start looking at 24-hour personnel down there at the plant. anything over 1,000,000 gallons. You've got different operators, and depending on the plant, we may have to hire an operator that's familiar with that plant. I don't know. I just want you guys to be prepared for that with this expansion. But at the end of the day, that's why we're bringing it to you guys to put on the list so we can start out exploring and start towards giving you some more detail, but also the funding process. And that's, again, you guys are coming in like your first meeting. I feel bad for y'all. I really do, because this is a huge project to go along with the others. But again, I can't stress enough that it's a have to, not a want to.
How much, with tariffs or whatever, how much difference is buying American compared to buying foreign goods with the added tariffs? Is it gonna be cheaper or be the same, or?
So I can go in circles on that, but I'm just trusting our engineers. I don't know the difference. I'm trusting what they're seeing in other projects, as far as the pricing and everything else. To give you an idea, once we look at this project, 5 years ago, to lay 8-inch water pipe, it was about, I don't know, $35, $40 a foot. That's installed. That same pipe today is $120. And that's PVC, so you're not even dealing with stuff. That's just to give you an idea. It's just the world we live in and the prices that we have to pay to do business now.
So I have a question around the public hearing that was canceled and rescheduled. Again, do we know if the rescheduled meeting, did that have like a good turnout? And then for something like this, would we want to consider having another one? I feel like this warrants us to have another one.
I can answer that. I wasn't here in 22, but that's gone and passed. We have impact fees, and that was approved then.
Okay.
So there's not another public hearing for that, if that makes sense.
Got it.
That was passed, and very typical of any entity to have impact fees or some kind of fees that go back into your infrastructure to pay for that. Water and wastewater impact fees are an extremely common thing. That's how you pay for your infrastructure as it gets old. So, again, I wasn't here in 22, so I don't know about the turnout. But yeah, so and if I'm speaking out of turn, Lindsay, please, but I think that's probably pretty accurate that there's no more public hearings for the impact fees because we already have them.
Got it. I guess, would we then want a public hearing again on this topic, just because it is a pretty big dollar price, right? Like after we make a motion, everything, we would want to have at least informational sessions on this, correct?
Right, and yeah, so we're gonna have more of an informational, go ahead. Oh. No, yeah, we'll have more of an informational session coming up, but in order to stay on the timeline to be ahead of some things for funding, it needs to be put on the CIP list tonight. And then we move forward with another meeting that we talk more about that.
Got it. Yes, sir. Thank you.
So you said this about 5 years out, is what your timeline was?
Oh, no, this
Everything?
is, so this right here, 18 to 24 months.
Okay. You said that brought us up to our current population. Have we looked at anything past that, or what, do we have the same discussion 5 years from now, that we're having to expand, or have we thought about that?
Okay, great question, and am I getting off topic? Okay, I just gotta make sure she takes care of me. So, great question, and yes, we're looking at other options, but we're just limited on what that Nolan will take as far as wastewater. There's only so many gallons you can put down the creek, and that's the creek that runs through here. We're good, we're permitted for this. We build the plant, we've already got the permit for this. That's always been, it's a 3-phase thing. We're gonna go from phase 1 to phase 3 instead of 2 a couple of years ago, and then maybe 3. We're just jumping to phase 3 with this project. But yes, we're looking at other options, and I think there are some other options. I just don't know how. There's several other options. It just gets more expensive the more you look at it. So that's something that we'll be coming back to you guys with in the future for a future project to expand further than that. But you guys will learn more on your agreements and things that the city's committed to serving a certain amount because of service agreements.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but we are at a lack of choice time. We need to do this, or we're just going to be filling backwards. We got to do this to take what we're already committed to.
So Yeah, okay. So yes, you have to do this or the other options, and I'm just, maybe speculating, Lindsay can be more help on this, but probably lawsuits in your future. I'm just guessing
Lawsuits from the state?
from our commitments.
From the developers that you're in the agreements with. So in a lot of, each of these development agreements, there are provisions that say the city is going to provide X, Y, and Z services. And so under those contracts, we have committed to provide these water services for more capacity than we can currently provide. So if this project doesn't get done and the city is unable to provide those services, then technically you're in breach of contract, you're in breach of that agreement. So they would have grounds to sue the city for not providing services that you've agreed to provide.
Funds for this, are they coming from, so they're just coming from impact fees?
No, ma'am. The reason we put this on the list is, so we can spend impact fee dollars on it now, to get started on the design and everything while we're working on funding. So, now we have about $2 million in that account to get started towards wastewater projects. That'll help with design things, but then with the funding in the future, you can reimburse yourself into that fund to put that money back for other projects.
I'll jump on this grenade. It's going to put us in a situation we will have to do a certificate of obligation in the future to cover this cost. The city does not have this money in its bank account. At this point in time, council, I will entertain a motion.
I will make that motion to approve and add project WW-2025-05 wastewater treatment plant expansion to the CIP list.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion by Councilmember Hodges and a second by Mayor Pro Tem Cornelison to approve, or to add project WW-2025-05 wastewater treatment plant expansion as part of the capital improvement plan. Is there further discussion? Councilmember Matos.
Aye.
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 Motion passes 5-0.
All right, thank you, council, and welcome to the council.
I did see something in here about Armstrong Laboratory. Was that you? Oh.
On to discussion. Item A, discussion regarding parking issues at the Godley cottages. Councilmember Hodges,
Yes, sir.
you have I believe you filed a conflict with the city secretary for your employer.
Yes, I am employed by the owners of this.
At this point in time, according to the council rules of conduct and procedure, I must excuse you from the chambers in accordance with Article 3.3.A.4. Ms. Wakel? I don't have a communicator for this one.
Yeah, we had set this up at the last meeting to have our city attorney come and talk to you about options that we have regarding these parking issues. I'll turn it over to her.
Good evening, new council members. Welcome back, prior members. So my understanding is there have been some parking issues with the cottages of Godley. I don't know a lot of details about them, but Chief Vincent and Chief Thompson are here to answer any specific questions. Generally, the problem is there's parking on each side of the road, the main road that goes through the cottages, and it's not allowing emergency vehicles and your trash vehicles to get through down the street to provide those services. I was asked to look at the city's options to help alleviate that, and one of the solutions that was brought up was creating or designating fire lanes, or whether or not we could have any, like no parking restrictions. I looked back at the plat, and typically your fire lanes are designated through the platting process. The dedicatory language in the plat does not dedicate fire lanes. There's not really a procedure to do it outside of that process, so I don't think that that's a viable option at this point. However, because it is dedicated for public use, the city could, I think we can take the position that we can regulate it under the transportation code, and we could designate some no parking zones, no parking on one side of the street, if that would make it, if that would alleviate it, to where it'd be still enough right of way for these emergency vehicles to get through. Or we want to do no parking on both sides, if that's something. We just wanted to kind of bring those options, since we do have a majority of a new council, to be aware of what the issues are and to kind of see what your thoughts are and get some guidance on how we think the best way to move forward with alleviating this.
I'd like to hear from Chief, some of the issues y'all brought up, Chief, that you're seeing.
So we're gonna start this out right here. In the future, any questions council has, these are either to the presenter or to Ms. Winkle. If they cannot answer it, they will call the person to answer the questions for us.
Welcome, new council. Those of you that are not familiar with this or haven't been out here, the cottages are right across the street from Spring Market. It's a small neighborhood. It really should be a one-way in and one-way out. There's not room for cars to go both directions. The problem we've had is people are parking on both sides of the street, and emergency vehicles can't get through there. I know the chief's fire truck, we've had many talks about this, it's not coming through. Ambulance, if somebody needs it's not coming through. And we're talking about driving on through yards if we have to, but there's not even a lot of room there. So it's really an issue. On top of that, because people that live in there know there's an issue, they're parking up on sidewalks. And that's state law violation anyway. And I've personally been down there and seen a young couple that just had a baby having to walk their baby in the carriage down the street because the sidewalks are blocked. This is what we're talking about. So even trash pickup, we've had complaints because trash pickup can't get through there to pick up trash. There is alleyways in the back. So if you run straight down the cottage drive and you go down, you can turn right or left and you can come back through the alley. Problem is the alleys are too narrow for emergency vehicles and the alleys are too narrow for trash pickup. So that's not an option. When we start talking about it, this road is so narrow, if you try and block off one side, then we're gonna get and say no parking on this side, but it's okay on this side. We're gonna get constant complaints from the people living on this side. Everybody's parked in front of my house. The other problem with that is then everybody that's on the parking side is gonna have to haul their trash over to their neighbor's house across the street, and then we're gonna get complaints on that because, hey, your neighbor's trash is dumped over and it's all over my yard, or your neighbor doesn't come pick up their trash. So there's just really no good solution that seems fair to me, except for no parking on either side, because that's the only way it's gonna alleviate it. And I'm not talking about, well, you're stopping and unloading furniture or your UPS man's dropping by, that's fine. We're just having problems with everybody piling up on that street, and there is places to park on the alley. They have plenty of room. They have 2-car garages on each one, plus a double driveway. And there's room if you drive down the alley along the sides. It's unimproved, and that's itself a city code violation for parking on unimproved surface, but they do it anyway. So you've already got a lot of parking around on the back sides. But even our emergency vehicles, mine could do it. She can talk for himself, but they can't maneuver around the sharp corners to go around the alleys. So it's just, it's a safety issue is what it is. I'm worried about somebody in there needing an ambulance and we can't get through, or needing a fire truck and we can't get through, or we've got a fight in progress or domestic and we can't get through. So it really is a big concern. So that's why we had talked before about fire zones or something, which our attorney said, no bueno, but something to alleviate the problem for the safety of the people that live in there.
So what is your recommendation?
I would put no parking on both sides. I just think that's the only way that's fair to both sides, that the neighbors on both sides. And that's gonna keep us from constantly getting called about trash cans, trash, cars on my side. Hey, my neighbor keeps parking in front of my house, you know.
Do you put up signs that say loading area, 15 minutes, something like that? Do you have to do that when you say no parking?
I was told originally that was the concept.
Yeah.
And that would be fine, but anytime you do it, you know how it is, people are gonna take advantage of it. They're gonna go ahead and go in and bring my groceries in, and then they don't ever come back. Even down on the right here, there's a small cul-de-sac. I would even include that, because you've got houses around that cul-de-sac right there, and if you don't, anybody that's living right in here in this corner is gonna fill that cul-de-sac up. You know, it's my opinion, I just think the whole thing needs to be no parking on the front. There's plenty of room for people to park around back. And I'm really, I wouldn't be up here talking about this when we weren't concerned about somebody getting in trouble and we can't get there.
That alleyway that's, I guess, between the houses and Spring Market, that's just enough for the one car to go in one direction? Is there ways to widen that?
If there's, right, currently?
Yeah.
If there's no cars on there, I mean, there's really, you could like come in here on this top and you could turn right, or you can turn left and you can go around the alley. And if there would be room for people to pass if they wanted to go both directions.
Here's my question, because if we put no parking on the main side, are all those cars then start parking behind that alley area? Is that gonna block that up?
That's where they are supposed to park.
Is it? Okay.
Right.
The original, I believe.
But there's enough room there?
For them to park
Yeah.
behind, yes. I
Yeah,
think
okay.
every unit, I believe, has a double car garage
It does.
behind. And so they can park in the garage, in the drive. So that shouldn't be an issue.
They have a 2-car garage and room for 2 cars outside. And the stuff along the side of that back alley is just extra.
There's days, the main drive through the middle is 23 to 24 feet wide. I went and measured it.
Okay.
For that to have cars parked on both sides and a fire truck to get down the middle, it needs to be about 28 feet wide. That would generally be the minimum standard. I don't know why it was platted this way. I wasn't here then, but we cannot get a fire truck down there if there's cars parked on both sides. We're gonna drive through yards or something. We're gonna do what we can, but those units or those houses are all so close together too, that presents us a bigger problem with that as well, as far as strategy and tactics. But the only other thing that I don't know if we have looked at is under the fire code, if it's a life safety issue, I don't know if there's a way to take any type of action on that. The authority having jurisdiction in the fire code, but
I mean, I don't think we need it. I think we can do it because we can regulate it as a city.
well, and that's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
The city enforcing it through the fire code, I don't know if that's a possibility. I would ask you what your thought was on it.
Okay.
It is a life safety thing. That's really where I stand with it. If I come in with a fire truck, we've tried to take a fire truck and go around the backside to the alleyway. You can't even hardly make that first turn, and then to get around to the backside, there's no way. And then if there's cars on each side of the street, there is an entrance on the far end as well. But what we would have to do, basically, we call it a lateral standpipe, or a vertical standpipe, and we have to lay out 3-inch hose and then put a Y on it and then put a tack lines on that, and that's all gonna take time, so. It's a bad situation.
Having not thought about the alleys and the potential two-way on that, if we move forward on something like that, we could also add in the alleys becoming one-way through to mitigate the two-way traffic, or whether they could fit. That could all get packaged up into something if the council moves forward that way.
Potentially, I'll have to confirm, if the plat also dedicates those alleyways to the city for, that whether we'd have authority to regulate the alleyways, because they could be considered private while the main road is public. So we'll have to confirm that we have the authority to do that, but if we do, then yes, that's certainly an option, if we wanted to make them one way. And just probably make sure that it would flow, that if each way was one way, right, they could get out and still be able to go through the whole development.
People are maneuvering the alleys pretty good when I've been down there. I mean, they're used to it.
Well, if we add more cars back there, it'll definitely get more congested, that two-way traffic might not be viable at that time also.
No, I agree with you. I think one way would be great, even in and out through the whole thing.
So why variances need to be used very selectively and not blanket like we've been using them in the past? A little bit of thought, this would have been proper sized lots, proper sized streets, this wouldn't be an issue.
So, I guess.
So, there is no motion on this. This is a discussion item, which what the city is going to be looking for is a guidance or direction for the staff to go on this.
I'd go with no parking in the front and see about one-way streets in the alley, if that's possible. Find out what's possible and then turn around and make our decision on everything when we have all our different options. I drove it a couple of times and I drove behind it and you just can't do it.
Even last year, when we had the freezing temperatures, the school reached out that they could not get the school bus through to pick up students in that neighborhood either. So it's bigger than just the fire department and the police. It also encompasses the school with picking students up.
And people have complained when the trash doesn't get picked up, because they can't get through the street.
No, I agree, it's there. I tried to back my SUV up when I was dropping off a friend and couldn't do it. But I guess the first thing we want to find out is, can we take those back roads, is it part of theirs, or is it part of the city that we can regulate for the one-way? I think that seems to be the best, but if we can't do that, then we're still at a problem. Even if we put one-way, or we put no parking, where are all the cars gonna park? I guess
Well, if you do one way, they're just both gonna go down one way, and they're still gonna pull up on the sidewalks, and they're still gonna block both sides of the road.
Well, it was referencing one way in the alleys.
Yeah, in the alleys, yeah. If we can do that, or is that part of the city thing, or the homeowners? Is it part of the homeowners, can we go to the area and ask them, hey, can we ask the homeowners, can we make this a one-way?
It'll be the lawyer that'll tell us whether we can or
Okay.
can't. I think, paraphrasing, I think the guidance is to move forward looking for no parking on, was it Cottage Road?
Yes, sir.
And seeing if we do have the ability to one-way the two alleys. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Officer Arbor, will you ask Councilmember Hodges to come back in, please? Will you ask Councilmember Hodges to come back in, please? On to items of community interest. We have Godley cleanup Saturday, May 24th from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., which is brush and limbs drop-off at City Hall. From 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. on the 24th, we have document shredding here at City Hall. And the city offices will be closed on Monday, May 26th for Memorial Day. Ms. Winkle, is there anything else that needs to be added?
Yes, I'm not sure if new council members or all council has been notified. We are gonna do a new, council member training on Saturday, June the 7th, from 9 to 1. And we just prefer if all council come, and we can do all that at one time. You will be introduced to the directors and what they do and what their department handles. And each department will go over some things with you. And I would encourage you to come. And it's going to be very relaxed. We're going to do a round table here in the chambers. So it'll just be a relaxed atmosphere so we can get to know one another. And then if y'all can let Brittany know, June the 17th, we're going to try to do headshots of all the council and staff for our new city website. And I'm going to start those around 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It doesn't mean we're going to do them all at 5 all at once. But we'll start them around 5 and give us till about 6 for people to come in, for the directors, y'all to come in and get your headshots done. And that way we can put that on our new city website. We found a photographer to do that, and they'll do it here in the chambers for
What day of
us.
the week is that? 17th?
Tuesday. It's on a council day. So like I said, we'll do it around 5. If you got time to come early and go ahead and get it done, that'll work. There was one other thing I had, and it just left my brain. Oh, we will have a work session on June the 3rd, which is the next city council meeting. And that'll be starting at 5:30. And we will get into all the projects. Can I say that? Well, we're going to go over all the projects. And then after that, on June the 7th as well, because the zoning ordinance has been in the process of being worked on, we will be discussing the zoning ordinance just to try to get you all up to date on everything that the prior council has worked through. So these aren't projects that have just popped up. These are projects we've been working on for quite a long time. So just so you'll know, we're going to get you up to date and educated on everything that's been done so far. That way you won't be behind on anything. And then June the 3rd, we will do the same thing. We'll do the work session with those, and then we'll follow it up with another work session. Isn't that right, on the 10th? Yes, and that's going to be a special meeting, and that's going to be talking about the zoning again, the zoning ordinance again. Because I want you to be prepared once we bring the zoning ordinance amendment and the map to you, and you'll be up to date on everything. So I know it sounds like a lot, but I just want to make sure that you're educated on everything that's been worked on before we bring it to you and ask you to vote on it. So, and then if I haven't met, I think I've met all of you, and you've probably talked with Brittany. On the 7th, like I said, that'll be a good time for us to get to meet each other and talk to each other and get to know the directors and find out some of the items that we have going on. So I'd encourage you to come. I'll feed you breakfast, and I'll have you out of here before lunch. Maybe. But I'll feed you. So that's all I have.
There is no executive session tonight. Is there any further business? Meeting is adjourned at 7:44 PM.
Thank you, sir.
Sure.